I'm Mariana, and here is another Hungarian recipe. It is called fish paprika, which in Hungarian means hal paprikás, and as you can tell from the name, it is basically fish with paprika. If you have seen any of my other videos, I'm sure you have noticed that in Hungarian cuisine, we like to keep things simple. Usually, we don't use many spices. It is usually salt, paprika, sometimes pepper, and some other times some other spices, but that's basically it. We also often like to use sour cream, which is my favorite. I would recommend to take a look at my Hungarian fisherman soup recipe, which is very simple. All we use is paprika, salt, and fish, and a couple of other ingredients. I would also recommend the recipe called chicken paprikás, because that is the same exact thing as what we're going to be doing here, but instead of chicken, we will be using fish. So let's take a look at the ingredients. So here are the ingredients. You will need salt, pepper, and paprika for your spices. You will need onions, tomatoes, and basically any type of freshwater fish. What I have here is Kokanee salmon. I fished out of the lake a couple of months ago. And you will also need pasta. What you don't have in this picture is oil. Let's not forget that. You will need that to saute your onions and your tomatoes. So step one is cut up your onions and your tomatoes into very small pieces. You're going to be cooking them down, so you don't want to actually have bites of the tomatoes because this will be a thick paste. And step two, after you clean your fish, you're going to fillet it and cut it up into bite-sized pieces. You're only going to cook the fish as long as it's done. You don't want it to fall apart, but you want it to keep intact in pieces like this. So now we're going to saute the onions and the tomatoes with some salt, pepper, and paprika. So for the next 20 to 30 minutes, you need to keep an eye on this, and you're going to keep stirring because you don't want it to burn or get stuck on the bottom. And you're going to add just a little water. You don't want it to become soupy, so you don't want to add too much, but you're adding just a little to help it cook down. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. This is sort of cheating, but don't tell anyone. You can use just a little tomato sauce at the end. I would say maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons. This will help you achieve that consistency you're looking for, but you don't want it to overpower and have too much of a tomato taste. You can probably use tomato paste as well. So when I say 20 to 30 minutes, what I mean is you're going to cook it as long as it takes. As you can see, I have actually reduced the heat a little bit. See how it's starting to get a little bit thicker. Your sauce is getting there. You don't want to add the fish until your sauce is basically done, because the fish will cook fast and you don't want the fish to be done, but then your sauce still has all these bites of pieces in there. Your onions are probably going to stay like this, but you want your tomatoes to completely cook down, which is probably about halfway done now. I put about 5 tablespoons of sour cream into this cup and put a little bit of water, mixed it up to make it the same consistency as my sauce is. And I'm going to mix it up, and we are almost done and almost ready for the fish. At the same time I put in the fish, I also start boiling the water for the pasta. Now, you might think it's kind of strange that we would use pasta with fish, because rice probably goes better with it, or even potatoes. But because you have this sauce, you don't want to use rice at all. You want to use pasta that's sort of like this. Because of how it is, it's all twisted. You can actually have all that sauce get sucked into it, and it will just be so much better with the consistency. So once the fish is done, you can mix in the pasta and ready to eat it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it's great that you're willing to try out different recipes, especially from different cultures, because you never know what you're going to like. Remember, with this recipe, you can use any kind of freshwater fish. You could use more than one types of fish. Just don't forget to take out the bones. Also, you can use any kind of meat. You could substitute it for chicken or beef, pork, or even any kind of wild game. And every time you will have a slightly different meal, but it will be equally delicious. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This will let me know that you're actually enjoying it and you're looking to see more. My next video will probably be about how to cook Hungarian stuffed cabbage, which I think is probably our most famous food, and it is a little bit more involved, but it is still fairly simple. And we use pork in it. You can actually use wild pig meat in that recipe. And I'm actually going to Texas in just a few weeks to do some wild boar hunting. So I'm really looking forward to using that meat in my recipe. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, share my video, like it, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.